What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 3 different Grayscale trusts today at the request of Paul O. Really, Paul just requested 1 Grayscale trust, but we're going to talk about 2 or 3. We're going to talk about BCHG, LTCN, and Mana today. Shout out to Paul O for the request. Here we are on the 7th day of August, the night before the 8th, the final day of the week, Friday. We are looking to move higher, it seems. Litecoin has been on a bit of a tear. Let's look at LTC. Of course, we will look at the respective cryptos in correspondence with these Grayscale trusts as well. But LTCN here, finding support. Let's double click. Finding support here. Higher lows, getting overbought. That's nice. Finding support here is good. Looking like you want to get into the overbought zone. I want to pull up the other indicators as well. LTC looking bullish as hell, consolidating in this area that you found resistance at before. You're just having a hard time getting overbought. So I'd really like to see today, 20 hours, 58 minutes from now, I'd really like to see today move up and close green. And actually get into that overbought zone, right? We don't want to reject off it. Anytime we reject, that doesn't mean that we can't move up higher, right? Here we rejected it twice, just like we've kind of rejected now, and all we did was move sideways essentially in the zone before having a nice move up. We can do that now, but I think I speak for a lot of the LTC people whenever I say we're at $121. We want this thing to rip. We're ready to go. We've been ready to go for, it feels like, years now, and any setbacks on the way to riches and glory, it's just not welcome anymore, man. We want you to move up already, damn it. If not, you probably do move down to about $115 or lower. We'll do some short-term analysis and see what that could imply. Let's look at this real quick, and this will help us determine what LTCN is going to do tomorrow as well. The 1-hour RSI looks pretty damn bullish. The 4-hour time frame here also looks pretty bullish. 57 minutes left in this 4-hour time frame. Let's see if we can't get this to move up. If we close it red, it kind of looks like you want to reject the overbought zone, but I would say we're low enough, far enough away from the overbought zone where it might not be a rejection, so it's okay to close here. You might actually, if you close here or lower, you could actually bounce off the 60. So overall, I like the RSI. It looks pretty damn bullish here. The LTCN chart, so with that, I would think that we do potentially move up a little bit more. Let's see. High to low here. Yeah, you actually look really good, man. I mean, if not by the end of this week, then inevitably, yes, you're on your way. We're on our way, you guys. LTC is to $300 to $400. Absolutely. We're going to break out of this massive consolidation phase, accumulation phase that we've been in now since May of 2022. We put this here. I mean, we've seen multiple cryptos do this already this cycle where they've broken out, and what they do is they go right up to their all-time high. So I would be very surprised if we saw anything less than $300. I wouldn't be surprised if we got above $400, but anything too far away from $400, I'm not anticipating that personally. But anything can happen. You never know. $300 to $400 is what I'm thinking. That's anything from like a 230% growth to about a 145% growth. With that in mind, I would think that LTCN sees more growth than that, right? So if Litecoin grows 135% or 100, was it 145%? 145%. Then I think it's safe to assume that LTCN would double that. Let's just say 300%, right? At a minimum standard. So something around $40 probably at a minimum standard. Here you are at 977, so that's decent growth. And if we do the other one, which was 237% or more, with this in mind, actually, this fib here, I would think that you actually go above the 2272. So maybe you do see just slightly new all-time highs consolidate, kind of like what XRP is doing right now. Maybe a 270% growth. That could imply 500% or more than that even for LTCN, which would probably be around $60. Let's just say 60. Keep these numbers round. So something in this area, just by doubling, whatever LTC does, we would double it for LTCN, and that might seem like it's a lot, but really, whenever LTCN moved up like this, LTC wasn't moving up at all like this, right? We've seen more than double. We've even seen like 8 times the movement that LTC itself sees. So doubling the percentage growth, I think, is more than adequate, more than fair, and probably even pessimistic, right? If Litecoin moves up to $300 to $400, this is actually a very pessimistic range. But LTCN's been very held back. what I'm trying to get to is at a low end, we'd expect to see a $42 price to something at a $60 price around these current cycle highs from back in April 2024. If we don't stop there, and I am being pessimistic, and the more realistic price would be something higher, then it's very possible LTCN could move up to $100, maybe 224, maybe something crazy, guys. Like we could see a 10x move or more for LTCN if LTC does its part and it does go to $300 to $400 between now and the end of September. That'd be my guess, right? Something in that time frame there. So that's the path for LTCN. Let's look at BCHG real quick. We don't need USD, just BCHG. Grayscale Trust. I'm really curious to see what happens with the Bitcoin Cash Grayscale Trust, because you guys, this thing, Bitcoin Cash, is looking fierce right now, right? We're about to break out of this multi-cycle. We already have broken out of this multi-cycle consolidation phase. We've already broken out of it. I can't draw a straight line to save my life. Let's just use a straight line. If I remember correctly, I can't. What is it about this high? Okay, I was about to say, you just can't get to it, but I think we got it there. Yeah. We've broken out above it. I think we've spent about a month now above this line, right? It's been 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our 5th week, so a little bit over a month above this line. We've broken out, but we haven't had our breakout move. When this happens, I'm anticipating that Bitcoin Cash will rally all the way up at a minimum to about $1,600. So it's about 185% move. At a maximum, I don't know, man. It could do something crazy. We could really see. I don't want to put a number on it. I'm thinking something between 1,600 to 2,200 if we are putting a number on it. But the reality is, we don't know what we're dealing with, man. This thing could rip to new all-time highs for all we know. So crazy gains. We'll start with the minimum. Okay, 180%. If Bitcoin Cash moves up 180%, we double that. That'd be a 360% move. I think, again, double. I say more than fair. It's not even actually fair. It's actually pessimistic. So 360, that puts us to $20 there. Let's take a high to low. Let's see what that does for us. High to low here. This is the BCHG chart, right, in case anybody's curious. And I mean, if you're above your 886, man, you would just continue at least up to $23 then. And if not there, I suppose it's more probable that we'd stop at $45 to $64, something like that. BCHG, I think both of these Grayscale trusts really do stand a chance of seeing a 10x or more. And that might seem crazy, but you guys understand the realm of normality for what's been like over the past year and a half now. It's not what we're doing now. We're in this corrective phase. We're loading up for this massive move. And especially with BCH, with Litecoin and BCH, you've got two very productive structures, okay, going on. BCH breaking out of this lifelong multi-cycle consolidation phase that you've been in. You're about to see that breakout move. It's going to be intense. Litecoin with its multi-year, like 2 or 3 or I don't even know how many years it's been, accumulation phase that it's been in, very bullish accumulation phase. And you're on the precipice of breaking out of that. Both of these are on the precipice of the biggest moves that you've seen all cycle. We saw miraculous rallies without these huge moves coming in. I can't imagine what's going to happen. We're playing it safe. And what's crazy is maybe a $45 to $64 price, maybe that's still playing it safe. Like this could really, for BCHG, we could really do some damage to the upside. I think that it's going to leave a lot of people shocked. It's going to move up fast and it's going to be super loud. It's going to be more explosive even than this last move was here, going from April 2024 to January 2023. I think it's going to be an even bigger move than that overall. But between now and the end of September, I would anticipate that we are at least back at it like $23 up at this high, if not most likely higher than that. $60 to $100, something like that could very well be on the way. The MACD is neutral as hell, bullishly postured. Stochastics look like they want to be bullishly postured, and the RSI is also wound up to see some bullish readings as well. We're just waiting on BCH to break out, man. So that's that there. Let's look at Mana on the Grayscale Trust, and then we'll end this video. It's been a while, man. Mana, I mean, really, I want to say Mana's been a disappointment, but haven't they all? Haven't most cryptos this cycle been a disappointment? Mana kind of has an anti-LTC trend, right? It looks very similar to Litecoin's trend, but Litecoin is shifted upwards and sideways, where Mana is shifted downwards and sideways, right? And that could be a distributive phase instead of a cumulative phase. But we've done this kind of stuff before. We've seen this happen before, and the upside that came after that made up for all this downside, right? You moved up way faster than you moved down. And this is a little bit more tame than this last bit of consolidation was here. I wouldn't be surprised if Mana broke out to the upside. I still have very bullish prospects for Mana. I think it's a very solid project, and they're developing all the time. They actually are. As far as metaverse coins go, I'm pretty sure they have the most day-to-day user basis, and they've been building for a while. They've been around for a while too, guys. They've been around for several cycles now, since 2017. And we're looking at this here. I would anticipate, if Mana does what I think it can do, that we would see 400% to 550% growth. That's about $1.60 to $2 in price, if not higher, something like that by the end of September as well, if not higher. And then that would reflect in the Mana Grayscale Trust, again, 2 to 1, guys. I mean, 10x or more, 8x or more, something like that, right? If it was 400%, then let's do 800%. That's a 9x or more. And then 590, that's a 600%, essentially a 1200% move. $1,200 there, $33. Something in that zone looks about right? I mean, here we are consolidating. You've got an inverse head and shoulders pattern showing up. You see this left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. The only issue is I don't like the volume. I think the volume's kind of whack, personally, but the pattern looks like it's there. If we were to move up, I think you'd move up very fast here. Maybe it's not an inverse head and shoulders. Maybe it's a BART. It could be a BART pattern, man. BART patterns are actually a thing. They do happen. Look, you had one here, right there. You had a BART pattern, and you moved up, right? If it's a bullish BART, you'd probably move right up into this zone, actually. We'll take a high to a low, and the golden ratio would be the minimum target. That's at about $16. And based off of the calculations, the rough calculations we did here, that could, that's like less than sufficient. Even that's very much in line with what we'd expect out of Mana itself, the crypto. So, $550 is cool. Or sorry, 550% growth is cool. 770% growth is cool. That's 1630 to 2140, something like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the 786 to 886, especially with the potential that the underlying asset has. $31 to $45 could be where you go, and I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. Ultimately, I believe that all of these Grayscale trusts, maybe not all of them, but I believe all the ones that we've talked about today will see new all-time highs by the end of the cycle. And if anybody says, well, what if ETFs come out? What if they hit NAV price and they stay fixed to the NAV price because an ETF is getting approved? We've done the math on this before. I don't want to go, I've spent enough time on this video as it is, but we've done the math on this so many times. BCHG and LTCN specifically, and Mana, if all of them see, I'm sorry, new relative highs this cycle, not even new all-time highs. Mana might need to see new all-time highs, but LTCN or LTC and BCH, if they see new relative highs this cycle and they go to the targets that I think they'll go to, which LTC would be $2,000 at a minimum, BCH would be, by the end of the cycle, $10,000 at a minimum, right? We've taken those minimum targets, reflected that in the Grayscale Trust. You would see new all-time highs for the Grayscale Trust as well. If anybody remembers, whenever we used to talk about these all the time, talking about the Grayscale Trust topping off sometime, basically probably around now, between July and September of this year, that was before we figured out that this cycle will continue. I believe this crypto cycle will continue into, I genuinely think it'll be Q2 of 2026. So the time frame's different. If we continue to Q2 of 2026, it's very possible that the Grayscale Trust themselves don't top off until Q1 of 2026 or at the very earliest Q4 of 2025. So we've got a lot of time to move, and these things do not need a lot of time to move in themselves. They're very, very fast whenever they want to be. Let's see here. Daily RSI looks good. I like the stochastics. The MACD is about to cross. It has crossed above the zero, and I think you're going to get that. That looks really nice. Weekly time frame. Let's delete this here. Bullish divergence on the weekly MACD with these oscillators here, higher lows. Bullish divergence on the stochastics and on the RSI. weak readings overall, but you have a bullish posturing and you're at your all-time lows. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You're at 243 now. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw this thing go to new all-time highs. And again, same thing as BCHG and LTCN. You have this 1, 2, 3 corrective phase, which unfortunately lasted about a year. We just haven't seen the bullish recourse yet. Nothing moves down in a straight line forever. We're going to get that not just relief rally, but change in direction. I think it's coming with this shift in the altcoin markets, which we'll see between now and the end of August and going into September and really through the rest of this year and into 2026 as well. So I got nothing else for you guys. One last shout out to Paulo, shout out to the E-Gang as well and all the Grayscale Trust people. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.